Andrew Macnab. We're here with Andrew.
Yeah.
Where are you? You're at home, I guess.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, man. Good to see. And it's sunny there. You got some sun, some of the sun on you. I have to
Oh,
move
it's a
my
beautiful
desk.
day. Beautiful and bright and not too cold.
It's really bright. Some of the sun's on your face. I can't. Half your face is in sun. I had to move my desk because half of me was in the sun, just like you are. But it makes you
Oh, yeah.
mysterious. That's good.
Well, I could move into the shadow.
Well, you
There.
can get
I'm
closer
probably,
anyway. Yeah, closer that way. People want to see it.
probably a little more visible that way.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think it's better if you can
Yeah.
push in. People want to see it. You're a mystery guy in the non-duality
Right.
scene.
Yeah, the sun's just washing my face out. Okay.
All
So
right.
there we are.
Why are you such a mystery guy in the? You used to be pretty active on the
Yeah, I'm
otters
not a mystery
community.
guy, really. Yeah, I was more active than I am now on online stuff. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know, there's a lot to talk about with you because I went going over some of the things. You have a lot of interests.
Yes.
I should do some kind of an introduction. Andrew, talking to Andrew Macnab, who lives in is La Have, is it? Nova
Yeah.
Scotia, or I don't know what
Well,
community you're at, or West Dublin,
yeah, West Dublin actually,
West Dublin,
just outside, just past La Have.
past La Have, and so the biggest town is Bridgewater, I guess.
Bridgewater's not far away.
Yeah, everyone around the world will know Bridgewater.
Oh yeah,
Turkey, the turkey. Do they still have that turkey restaurant there, or
Turkey Burger. I guess it's still there. Yeah.
all they serve is turkey? Always wanted to
Oh
go.
no, no, no. They serve all kinds of burgers.
Oh, okay. I thought they were like a turkey specialty or something. Um, yeah, there's a lot to talk about with you. I don't know where to begin usually with these things. But I met you. I don't know. Where do you
We
want?
met a long time ago.
Look, I have some notes here, just words
Back in.
that things that you're
Oh
interested
yeah.
in. We met a lot.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. But I got things like, you work as a carpenter. I got
Yeah.
gardening, camping, canoeing, fishing.
Yeah.
Your dog, awakening, your family, your interest in language, books, translation. You've written on suffering, the small self, meditation. I mean, that's probably just
That's
scratches the surface.
Well, that's just regular stuff. I mean,
That's
everybody's
regular
interested
stuff.
in all kinds of stuff, aren't they?
Well, I mean, it's stuff we can talk about. Yeah, well, in a sense, yeah. I mean, everyone
Yeah.
is interesting. So, yeah, yeah. Let's start talking about something. What
Okay.
we met, or some kind of awakening experience, or whatever you're comfortable with. Some sort of beginning.
Yeah. All right. Um, I don't know. I think my work as doing carpentry and house renovation uh, lets me lets me keeps my hands occupied while I my my mind can be rather meditative um, some of the time.
You're creative
But
as a carpenter too, because you've told me you do some things that you have an opportunity to be creative. Maybe not all jobs. Maybe all jobs. I don't know, but can you talk about
well, I do renovations.
creativity? Yeah.
I do renovations rather than new construction. So I'm working on old houses mostly. I mean, around here we've got houses, 100, 200, 300 years old. Um, so you never know going into an old house what you're going to be faced with when you start tearing things apart. There are different construction styles, and I know that compared to some places in the world, 200 or 300 year old house is not old. Um,
Probably.
but construction, the actual styles of construction have changed quite a bit. So you have to be somewhat creative about putting stuff with new materials in with an old construction. You find interesting things when you start tearing old houses apart.
Probably like what are some interesting or unusual or strange things you remember?
Well, sometimes the exterior walls are built with thick vertical planks, mortised and tanned into a framework above and below, rather than regular stud wall construction. Sometimes you might, when you open it up and get the shingles off the outside or the plaster off the inside, you find that it's actually a log cabin underneath. Sometimes you might find, I don't know. Just post and beam construction rather than stud wall construction is not uncommon. Then there are things that people put in the walls. I've found Bibles, and I've found baby shoes, and various things like that were put in there intentionally, and then as a lucky charm. And then things that had been lost in the walls, like a little silver pin, which I think had been lost in there, which was Scottish thistle, I think. And a pair of skates, early pair of skates, that someone had left in an attic.
The state you were talking about, letting your hands do the work while your mind is sort of free.
Yeah.
And is that state conducive then to more creativity, coming up with interesting solutions?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I don't mean to make it sound kind of idyllic like that. There's still a lot of hard work involved, and there's still planning and some trial and error. But you get better at things with repetition.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I know that keeps you busy down there where, like you said, there's so many old houses. And once you get a good reputation, you probably work as much as you want.
Yeah.
I think Scott McInnes, who I've talked to, and you know Scott in our group here, he's very much the same way. And I think he's also,
he does
like you, busy
work.
and speaks the same way, how his hands do the work, and there's a certain mental, creative freedom, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. And so tell me how you stumbled into this non-duality stuff.
Oh, well, I was kind of wandering around surfing on the web.
So when was this, and when? Give us some reference.
How I found Nonduality Salon was surfing on the web and stumbled upon it.
Yeah, that would be like late 90s or something.
Yeah, and sort of checked it out and found, oh, geez, that guy Jerry Katz, he actually lives around here.
Yeah, amazing.
That was an amazing thing. So I had to come and check it out and get involved with it.
And you were. Non-duality salon had a life of its own. It was an unusual.
Yes, it was. It was quite an active place back in those days.
You contributed a lot. You were doing a lot of writing on it. You were involved in it.
Yeah, I was. It was my first real opportunity to come out of my shell in that respect, in a sort of philosophical or expressing and confessing.
Yeah, I mean, I think for everyone on that group, for just about everyone, it was the first time, myself included,
Yeah.
of speaking publicly
Yes.
about this stuff. And it was like, what was your impression of the group? I mean, if you felt the same way, if it was everyone's first
Well, I
time,
found it a great opportunity.
yeah,
I found it a great opportunity, I think. I was really surprised. And well, I mean, the group was very challenging.
yeah,
I mean, the individuals in the group were very challenging.
yeah,
It was not a kind and gentle place at all. Some other groups that I've been involved with are much kinder and gentler. Like traditional bow hunting is a much kinder and gentler group.
Were you on a bow hunting group or at the same time or something?
Yes,
Or,
yes, I was. Well, it wasn't really the same time. It was later,
yeah.
but yeah.
I didn't know you were into bow hunting too. I mean, yeah, non-duality groups can be a lot more dangerous than
Yeah,
bow hunting.
dangerous and challenging.
Yeah, how would you compare bow hunting and the old non-duality salon?
Oh, bow hunting, the people are gentle.
I mean, have you bow hunted?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I meant on the online group though.
Yeah.
The people are gentle. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I do bow hunt for deer, and
Yeah. Do you get out once a year or so? Or?
There are lots of deer around here.
Yeah.
I generally get one. But that's kind of off topic for non-duality.
I don't know. I mean, it's all on topic. It's about you,
Nothing's
about people,
off topic. Yes.
about people, and what people do and what they bring to what they do. So.
Really, nothing's off topic. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. I didn't know you did. I know you're involved in you have a lot of outdoor activities. So.
Yep. Well, I'm blessed to live in a place with opportunity for that.
You live right on the harbor there, right? It's a saltwater harbor.
Yeah, I live right on the salt water. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
And there's lots of woodland around here, and.
Let's get back to some hardcore non-duality. Can you talk about an experience or experiences that you would call something that kind of awakening or shifted your perception of what you are?
Well, I do spend time in meditation, and have done for a long time, since I was 18, so 40 years ago. More or less, on and off, not every day, but I mean, I've missed years, but most of the time. And there have been times when I've sort of awareness of, I've become. My identity has sort of dropped away, and my body has been less, present, but not really considered as central. But my identity as Andrew, or as an individual, is kind of has come and gone in those events, And then a little while ago, I had a stroke, which I brought on because I tore an artery in my neck. And when that happened, I had a similar experience, but vividly intense, and quite imaginatively projected of the identity, everything I thought of as me, dropping away and winking out, quite literally as a glowing ember that fell and got smaller and got carried away and eventually disappeared. I realized I was still. It's not like I lost consciousness. I realized I was being carried along in an ambulance. So the body was being carried along in an ambulance, and I was being shaken around and carried into the emergency room, and people were bustling around and talking to me. Everybody seemed much more worried than I was. I was kind of blissful. And they asked me a question, and the doctor asked me a question about whether I wanted about a drug that he was going to give me. He explained the risks of it and the benefits of it, and asked if I wanted to take it, and I realized that I had to sort of come back as an identity in order to respond. And I didn't really want to, but I felt it was kind of a duty, or kind of it was kind of something that had to be done out of love and
out of love. Just talk about
yeah.
That.
So I did respond, and it was very successful, and so here I am back again. But this sense of identity came back, but as a function rather than as something that I took to be me. It's something I do, something that is done, rather than something that is constant, and it's not limiting.
Yeah. Now but those periodic meditations that you did from age 18 were also powerful revealers too, because are you eating? What are you eating? If you're going to eat, I'm going to eat.
I'm chewing gum.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have a cigarette. It's a vapor. Have you ever used those vapors?
No.
I can't see if my camera's on there. What?
Has yours got nicotine in it, or is
No, just the vanilla flavor. Just vapor. There's no. Yeah. I puff on it once in a while.
Well,
we really just be sitting here eating, drinking, and smoking. It's really all we need to do.
Yeah. Well, I don't really need to chew gum. I can get rid of it.
No. You could have just giving me a cue to puff on my vapor. That's all.
Oh, okay.
So the meditation times were revealing to you, and you wrote things that I have on nonduality.com that reveal exactly what you said.
You probably remember what I wrote better than I do, because you've
I have it in front of me. I don't have to remember it. I mean, you said things.
You've been able to review things. I haven't reviewed anything. And I know I wrote a lot of nonsense, but
not really.
Not all.
You wrote good poetry. You wrote good stuff. Well, you wrote things again. This would be late '90s, and you wrote one. I was going to read one of the things. You wouldn't remember it. Maybe you do. I don't know. It's got a movie.
Sure.
You said very briefly, I used to think I existed, but all there is an accumulating collection of memories. So whatever happened during the stroke, clearly all identity dropped and winked out. But you still had insight into that.
Well, you mean at the moment I had insight into that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was quite a happy experience. It was rather blissful, and but then coming back was painful, and the actual physical recovery was quite painful for a rather long time. So.
How are you doing now? I know you've been slowly doing better. I guess
Oh yeah, I think I'm doing pretty well.
Good. Yeah, you seem to be. Yeah. That's the main thing.
Yeah, I'm lucky that I got found and treated quickly, and that we have our medical system, which is underfunded, but still better than in a lot of places.
Yeah, if they're getting you better, yeah, I've had good experiences with it, and it's great. You go into a hospital, when you're finished, you go, you say goodbye, and that's it.
Hospital and a rehab center, and I was there for 6 months, and
wow.
And I don't have any big medical bills to face.
Yeah, no, we're pretty fortunate. I mean, we do pay health services tax. You buy a car, you pay towards that. We pay towards it, but
yeah,
only towards it, only to the degree of a person's means. I mean, just depends how much money you have to spend.
Yeah, we pay it as in our income tax, but
yeah,
and our HST.
Yeah, but no one's done.
Yeah, and it's less than perfect, but it's better than a lot of other systems.
Well, I mean, medical care is less than perfect anyway. I mean, that's the limitations of doctors and.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. The thing I really disliked about it was the loss of autonomy when I was in recovering.
Yeah.
Being told what to do, and also bad. I didn't like the food.
So they have a menu, don't they, where you can pick?
Yeah, they had a menu where you could pick your food, but I think the diet was not good for me. The conventional dietitian's diet was not good for me.
Now you've changed your diet.
Yeah, I eat more of a paleo diet, I don't eat much carbohydrate. I eat mostly protein and fat. I eat more vegetables than anything. I'm kind of a carnivorous vegan.
Yeah. Yeah, vegetables are important.
I mean, by volume, I eat mostly vegetables, but by calories, I eat more meat than anything. But weight or volume is mostly vegetables.
In that sense, medicine is imperfect because doctors just aren't up on that.
Well, no, I'm kind of ahead of that. I think there's a bit of a I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I think that the FDA is. I think there's corruption in the system. That I don't think there's an intention to keep people sick necessarily, but I do think that the pharmaceutical companies profit from that, and I think that the FDA promotes grain consumption because in order to support the grain growing business. I think pastured beef is the thing to eat. And as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't have to be more expensive or difficult to obtain. It's the natural, grass is the natural food of cattle, and grows naturally. We have there's all kinds of pasture land that's been allowed to grow up into, have trees grow back up on it, and it's unused because the small farmers have been sort of pushed out, and a lot of our food is produced by big businesses, big agro business, and I think if we came back to small farms and local production, then we would probably be healthier and spend less money on food.
Where do you get your beef there where you are? A farmer's market, or is there a butcher shop? Or
sometimes, and from some local farmers. Yeah.
Yeah, or when you get into Halifax, maybe, I don't know.
Mm.
Mm.
And I think if you live I think that meat eating or vegetarianism is an interesting question. I don't think that meat eating itself is hard on the planet or hard on, or morally inferior. I think it's agriculture as a big business is more of a problem.
Hmm. Nice thing
Right
in
now,
Nova Scotia, we have a lot of small farms, so
well, we still have some. Yeah.
not a lot, yeah.
But it's challenging for people to make a living on small farms.
Yeah. You do gardening, and you wrote a poem on gardening again back in the
I do garden,
1990s,
yeah.
I think.
I don't remember that poem.
You want me to read it?
Sure.
There are weeds in my garden, and various wild creatures graze here and there. 6 legs, 8 legs, 2 legs, 4, 100, none. But we still get more tomatoes than we can eat. A more carefully tended garden might yield more, but it would lose some charm.
Hmm.
You remember writing that?
Yeah. Now I do.
Yeah.
I had forgotten about it completely.
Do you anything else to say about gardening?
Well, I really have been kind of neglectful of gardening. Although I do have a little garden out there that it's really literally very small, and the only thing that's in there right now is garlic, which is in there waiting for the spring. But I'll be planting stuff. It's only about 30 square feet. It's about 5 feet by 6 feet raised bed, surrounded by deer-proof fence. That's my concession to reality. It's keeping the deer out.
And what is that about? Like, how high does it have to be, or?
Well, it's about 4 feet high.
Yeah. Is it like wire mesh, or what?
Yeah, it's a sort of heavy wire mesh.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
Maybe I can show it to you.
Come on, let's go. Let's go for a walk.
There it is.
Okay, it's
It may be too bright. I don't know.
the resolution just isn't very good from what I'm seeing. I don't know how it's going to record, but
Yeah.
yeah,
But anyway,
you definitely get a sense of the outline and the dimensions,
too much snow. You can't really see it.
but you can't really. But you can see you can see what it is basically.
I don't know.
What do you use for heat there? Is it electric or?
I've got wood stove, and there's some electric baseboards, but I hardly ever use them.
I didn't get that. Did you say a wood stove or?
A wood stove,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
that's nice. If you don't mind
Yeah.
dealing with the wood. Yeah.
No, that's right. You have to be home and load it up and um, keep hauling wood in.
Do you buy it split, or I guess at this point where you're dealing with your in
I
recovery?
did this year.
Oh,
I
you did?
bought I bought 3 cords of split hardwood.
Yeah, you bought it
Um,
split. Yeah.
the last couple of years, I was just burning scrap wood that I brought home from work
Oh, interesting.
uh, that I would chop up,
Oh, so
which worked fine. They were mild winters.
3 chords
Um,
isn't a huge amount.
I'm glad I have hardwood this winter, though. I mean, apart from
Yeah.
the fact that I was not really fit to cut up the scrap wood like I had been years before. I've also hurt my stove burning this scrap wood. Too much small softwood burns too fast and too hot, and it will burn your stove out. I've got a beautiful old cast iron stove that now is going to have to be replaced at some point.
Hmm. Yeah, that's
Otherwise, it lasted forever if I
uh,
hadn't done this. But I think uh, I think it's good for the next few years anyway.
yeah, that's good. It's a nice heat, but it's a heat that requires work. It's
Mm,
okay, I guess.
yeah,
It is nice. You go for
yeah,
walks there. Did Going back to Non-Duality Salon group, it kind of at one point kind of culminated in a retreat,
yes,
Rhode Island, which was an amazing weekend, I think, for everyone
yeah. It was
there.
great. Yeah, you and I drove down together
We drove down, and was it my
in your
Toyota? Yeah, I
truck.
had a
Yeah,
an 80 something Toyota,
yeah.
eighty-two, 81 Toyota or something, or
It was
89,
better than
I
the
don't know.
vehicle I had at the time.
Yeah, it was 89 Toyota, I think. Anyway, but in any
Right.
case, um,
I
that was
think I had a,
that was an amazing weekend.
yeah. Yeah, it was. It was fantastic. We, actually getting together with people in person,
Yeah,
was a great thing. And it seemed like, I mean, all these people were so familiar. I knew them all quite well, but I mean, just from the email group.
yeah.
But so it wasn't as though you were meeting strangers. It was um, you were meeting old friends.
Yeah, it was kind of the second phase in getting into and sharing this non-duality stuff. The first phase was the online experience. Then
Yes.
after about maybe 2 years, then year and a half, and then we all about 15 or 12 or 15 of us met in person, which was like
Mm.
an equal experience, an equal kind of revelation of this the of the connection, the connection with
Yeah.
others. It was just as remarkable, just as almost kind of shocking in a way, a little bit of culture shock, which people nowadays, it's just, you can meet someone and in 5 minutes you can be on video with them on Skype. It's like there's no mystery anymore.
No. Being online, I mean, being able to be online, the appearance and growth of the World Wide Web um, is really has made it's really such a cultural change from it has changed things so much that it's hard to remember how things were before.
In a way, things were nicer. You were more solitary, more
Had
alone.
more time,
In a way, that's nice.
less distractions. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but no, but yeah, there are things that are lost too. Um,
I mean, what do you think is the great thing then of being connected with all these people so easily? I mean, what's the best part of that?
best part of being connected is just is that ability to. It's a growth ability. It's a chance to contribute and a chance to receive and develop and learn.
Yeah, I guess we've all learned a lot and continue to.
I mean, I remember back in the 1980s that I read an ad in the back of a Buddhist magazine that I found on a newsstand in Halifax for Naropa, the Shambhala Chogyam Trungpas, you know, the Shambhala place in Colorado, Naropa University, and I wrote them inquiring about coming, about attending there and studying there, and I got a letter back from somebody there that was very curious about how I had heard about them, and I said I'd read an ad in the back of one of those magazines, and that was there was no more correspondence, and my interests changed a little bit. I went to Prince Edward Island and studied visual arts, graphic design, instead of going down to Colorado.
Well, just stopping it with the Shambhala group, that had to be a year or two before they came to Nova Scotia.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Trungpa came to Nova Scotia and brought the Shambhala group here, and
probably because of you.
Yeah, could be.
Oh.
Could be. He came here to meet me, and I wasn't there anymore. I had moved
They
on.
wanted you so badly.
Anyway, he yeah. Well, that's kind of self-aggrandizing. You sort of think of, but no, I think that it was a missed opportunity on my part.
Yeah.
But it's just an illustration of how much things have changed, because now, I mean, as of the 1990s, being online, one has much more access to all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't imagine someone from Shambhala writing someone and saying, "Geez, how did you ever hear of us?" It's just,
yeah.
It wouldn't happen. So you went to PEI, you studied, I didn't know that, you studied visual. Tell me about that.
Oh, visual arts at commercial design, graphic design, and visual arts.
Oh, yeah.
All in college, I did.
Yeah.
For a couple of years.
How did that affect your work, your carpentry, or other things in your life?
I don't know. I did. I was involved with a screen printing shop for a few years. I was part owner of a screen printing shop, and I've also always been interested in visual arts. People say, "Why didn't you go to art college?" And I don't know, but I never did.
What do you consider yourself more than anything else? Like, I mean, I see you more as a poet more than anything else.
I don't know. I guess so.
Okay, that's settled.
Carpenter.
You're a carpenter.
Yeah.
You're a poet. I have all your writings here, and one of the themes that you've written about, or at least that I put down on the webpage for you, on nonduality.com is you have several writings on language. I mean,
Oh yeah.
you're interested in books. You're interested in language. You've done translations.
Yes. Thanks for
Nobody knows
reminding
this
me.
stuff. Where
Yeah.
should we begin? From books, language, and translations. Did you do any more
Um,
translations? You were doing translations there for a while.
oh yeah, I was. I was doing sort of poetry translation. Um, yeah.
You want me to read one? Do you have any there handy, or should I read one? Or
I think I was. I think I was translating from languages I really didn't know.
well, that's the
What I was
best way.
doing,
Remember the guy who did the
what
sign
I was
language?
doing was using the Google. I was you use the Google translations and then apply your
Yeah.
sense of an artistry and some artistry and poetic stuff to the weird Google translation and change it around so that it makes more poetic sense. That's what I do in those translations.
Yeah, and I have that down here. I'm going to read from it. But do you remember? Was it President Obama was speaking, and some guy got up to do a sign language,
Oh, yeah. Was doing sign language.
and he was mismaking it up. Just using hand motions.
Yeah.
And you're making it up. And I
Yeah.
thought, well, that guy really would be good at a non-duality conference where he's doing sign language for the hard of hearing, because it would make sense in a non-duality conference because it makes no sense.
Mm.
But anyway, when you said you were translating and not knowing the language, it kind of reminded me of that guy. But what you do is, and I have the writing, is that I have what you wrote here, is that you translated, you took a foreign language, and this looks like Spanish, Antonio Machado from the
Yes.
book Fields of Castilla. I guess that's Spanish, and so you would use one of the translators. Back then it was Alta Vista.
Yeah. Right.
Off
Yeah. You use
that.
a machine translator to actually do the crunch it from Spanish into English.
And then from there, then you would kind of put in your own phrasing, and one of these is
Yeah, and you change.
really beautiful.
It's quite obvious where the machine translation has screwed up. Although they screw up less now than they used to then, I think. They've got a little better. It's quite obvious where it's wrong, and you can correct it. But then you also put your own sensibilities into it. Yeah.
And could I read one of these that you wrote?
Sure. Sure.
And it's from,
I think it's not an unusual. Translation is a funny art. A lot of translations are collaborators between someone who knows the language that's being translated from, like Japanese into English. Somebody Japanese who knows Japanese very well and who can speak English can translate from the culture that they're immersed in, the language, that language into basic English, and then they collaborate with someone who speaks English very well and really doesn't speak Japanese, and who puts it into English poetry.
here's what you. Yeah, I don't know how that process works, but whatever comes up. The bottom line is that whatever's true and beautiful, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
So
I was thinking of that Dogen book that I've been reading, that translation of Shobo Genzo that I've been reading by Gudo Nishijima and somebody named Michael Cross. Nishijima he died recently, was a old Japanese man who was quite brilliant about and well studied he had he had done a lot of university study of Dogen and other Buddhist old Japanese Buddhists, because it's not an easy thing to translate, and to get the character and get character and nuance of what he was saying and what was going through his mind is something that nobody in previous translations, I don't think, has really managed to do. Dogen at his best is kind of riffing on familiar concepts that were familiar to his audience. It's ancient Japanese. It's 13th century. Concepts that were familiar to his audience. Old poets and writers then, at that time, it's a bit like modern free jazz, like John Coltrane doing favorite things, where my favorite things is an old familiar simple song that he took and sort of deconstructed and reconstructed and messed around with, and expressed some quite profound stuff through what he did. I think Dogen did the same thing. That's what Dogen was doing with Buddhist concepts and things. There's one particular piece which is called the Mountains and Rivers Sutra. It's a chapter in there, in Shobogenzo, which, I mean, he's always referencing these without telling you that he's referencing them. He's referencing these other writers and poets, and he expects his audience to know who he's making reference to. He expects his audience to be familiar with it, but if you're not, you can still get it. The book is heavily footnoted, but you can get lost. It's so heavily footnoted that you can actually get lost in the footnotes. But in that one, he talks about he says the mountains and rivers are not a metaphor. They're literally the words of Buddha.
The mountains and the meadows are literally the words.
Literally the words of Buddha. I mean, they are actually mountains and rivers at the same time, but anyway, he says the mountains are always walking, and the rivers are always flowing. And the mountains dance on the water. Yeah.
So that's a translation. Yeah, sounds like would be hard interesting to translate.
Yes. Well, that is the translation. I don't read ancient Japanese.
Yeah. I thought you did.
No.
Yeah.
I know you do, but I don't.
I do. Of course I do.
Yeah.
I think in ancient Japanese.
I don't know what language I think in or dream in. I dream in English.
Speaking of dreaming, here's one of your translations. Yesterday I dreamed that I saw God, and that God spoke, and I dreamed that God saw me. Later I dreamed that God dreamed. Later I dreamed that God dreamed.
Hmm. Yeah.
Then I'm thinking mountains walking on the flowing water.
Yeah. Yeah, the mountains walk on the water. And the stone woman bears children by night. Well, now, I mean, that is a funny thing to say, but it's the stone woman is the inanimate, the inanimate world. The children are the animate world, and by night just means in the darkness and in the unknown, in the unknowable. So if he says something like that, it's actually quite simple what he's saying, but he's so subtle and smart the way he
Is there anything you want to either memorize from that or you want to read from it? From the book? If you have the book handy.
Well, these things that I've said are sort of
Well, you already have, but yeah.
Things I remember. Yeah.
Do you have a preference? Do you find yourself inclined towards the Zen expressions?
I think so. I like that. I'm drawn to that. Yeah. I like the I'm drawn to a lot of it. There's aspects that I'm not drawn to, like the sort of authoritarian parts, I don't know. Hierarchy doesn't appeal to me right now, anyway.
When I came to visit you, you had your dog.
That was Ruby, I think.
But it wouldn't be the same dog, because that was years ago.
Oh, that was my last dog, was Ruby. She was, she actually died a few years ago now, from Lyme disease, from chronic Lyme disease.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was that hard to diagnose?
Yeah, I think so. Although actually, it's more of a. It was hard to. They had trouble diagnosing it, and they thought she had cancer, and we gave her prednisone as a palliative measure for the cancer that we thought she had, but it turned out to be Lyme disease, and the recommendation is not, one of the prime recommendations is don't give someone with Lyme disease prednisone. Anyway, so in trying to treat her and attempt at kindness, it actually turned out to be the wrong thing to do. Anyway, so after a few years, I've got another dog. His name is Bandit. He's a good dog. He's the best dog ever.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is Bandit there, or?
Yeah, he's my friend here.
Is he right there? Can we see?
He's right there. Can you see him? There he is. Bandit. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Hey, Bandit. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice boy. Good boy. Wow, nice. He looks youngish.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun. He's actually about 6 years old.
Yeah.
I take him to the beach every day. He's kind of obsessed with the ball. chasing a ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you know about dogs that you enjoy knowing?
Oh, I learned a lot from dogs. He's, being present in the moment, in the moment, and just not being too caught up in. You can sort of experience the world through the dog's senses as well as your own. And he experiences the world through my senses as well as his, I think.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, he makes me. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't get out every day for a walk on the beach.
Beach is right outside your door there.
Well, it's just down the road, yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes the weather doesn't seem so suitable, and I'm too lazy. Don't want to go, but I kind of have to because of Bandit. Yeah. Walk the length of the beach and back.
You've going. Yeah. Sorry.
Throwing the ball for the dog, and he runs continuously. He's very friendly. He's very friendly with every other dog that he meets. He has no aggression in him. He's very well socialized because he spent the first 4 years of his life in an animal shelter, and so he was always around other dogs and people who were kind to him. So he's never been abused, and he's very well socialized, both with dogs and with people.
That's a long time in a shelter, 4 years. How did he pull that off?
He was brought in as a little puppy, and never got adopted until I came along.
That's nice they keep them
Yes.
that long.
Yes. He got.
Yeah, interesting.
He got brought. He started out in the shelter in Moncton, and then got brought to Bridgewater, or Blockhouse.
Yeah, you talked about entering into what the dog knows. Presence, I guess, is the word. And again, that's something else you write about. You write about the small self. Or really, we talked about translation. Maybe it makes more sense. It's all tied together. But to segue into language, you've written quite a bit on language. And one thing you wrote is, as I see it, the goal, imperfectly achieved, is integration of the wordless and the word. To act, speak from, in, and to the only reality, which is ordinary and extraordinary.
Yeah.
Integration of the wordless and the word.
I had completely forgotten. I had completely forgotten some of these things that I wrote. They're kind of I consider them kind of throwaway things.
All right. That's the kind of stuff that was posted to the Nonduality Salon that people would post.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, it was in the flavor of the time.
Yeah. People when you go to these non-duality different meetings, which we go to, we have a group that we go to. Mm-hmm. We can talk about that. People like to use the word integration. People want to talk about integrating this sense that they have, or this experience of just presence, of the unknowable with the everyday,
the material,
anxiety,
the material and the ideal, integrating the materialistic and the idealistic.
And is that really the question? How do you integrate these things?
And there's the realistic.
What about this integration?
The integration of the materialistic and the idealistic, I think.
Is that the right question to ask? How do you integrate, or is integration even the right topic to spend much time considering?
I think it's a topic that people spend a lot of time considering whether whether they use that language or not, whether they're aware that that's what they're doing. I went and heard a lecture by a guy, a scientist, a retired fisheries biologist who was talking about the arts and the sciences, and I think that in what he was saying, he was kind of talking about the same things about integration. At least I hope that's what he was talking about. That's what I got from it.
Yeah, so people talk about it without ever really using the word, I guess.
Yeah.
Wait, so you mentioned some of these writings are throwaway stuff. What do you mean by that? And is it all throwaway, or what's not? What's
no,
not throwaway?
I don't have any. There's nothing wrong with keeping it around, but I mean, it's sort of where I was at the time, and I had forgotten about it. And
I don't have anything new from you. What am I supposed to do?
No, I know. I enjoy being reminded of it.
And it's good stuff. So.
Yeah, I think it's good stuff. I wish I knew the guy that wrote it.
Yeah. What do you mean? It's all gone, or you couldn't write that now, or what?
I know I would write something different now.
So what would you write? Have you written anything much lately, or?
No, I haven't really written much. I think in some ways it's kind of trying to be clever, trying to seem clever or to impress people, and I don't do that anymore. Although I don't know if that's really a legitimate criticism of it.
But maybe that was the spirit of the times. Again, we were all new, coming together, new, and you sort of had to flash your business card, and we certainly still do. You don't. I guess you don't need it, but others
you want to make
do.
an impression. There are other people. There's a whole community of people who, each of whom are trying to make an impression.
Yeah.
On the Nonduality Salon back in those days, it was a sort of competition of making impressions of
Yeah. Yeah, it's still that way. It's there's more breathing space to it now, but I see it on my Facebook group I'm on. I don't know. Maybe people are more aware they're doing it. Maybe they're a little more self-aware, and they poke fun at themselves.
I'm more aware of that than I was then. Not caught up in it as I was then.
Are you on any groups at all, or do you do any stuff like that? Or?
No, not really. I belong to. I come to the non-duality Satsangs.
Yeah.
That you and James have organized so kindly. I think it's great that you. I mean, not just the Satsangs, but the whole Nonduality Salon and Nonduality.com and all that stuff. I think it's great that you have done that stuff, that you're doing that stuff, that you're, rather than somebody like me who just thinks, oh, such and such would be a good idea. Got to do that sometime, and never getting around to doing it, and then but you do actually get the work done.
Well, we were hanging around in those early days of Non-Duality Salon. I mean, it just caught on. I didn't want to let go of it.
No. Yeah.
But I really never knew. None of us ever knew what we were doing, and I think I was very amazed that it was getting so popular. And
And great people. I mean, so many
yeah,
great people that came along, got involved with it.
yeah, there was nowhere else to go. There was no other group really like that. So
Yeah.
the the meetings we have now, we have one this Sunday. uh, It's our non-duality Satsang group. It's on Meetup.
Hmm.
That's kind of has the spirit
Do we have
of
one?
openness.
Did you say we have one this coming Sunday?
There is one this Sunday. I just announced it on the Meetup group. If you can
Oh,
come,
yeah.
discuss the question of non-duality and human suffering. Like one of the members was talking about was saying, how can you guys be here and be so peaceful and so non-dual when there's a lot of bloodshed in the world?
Hmm.
Mess. How do you again integrate those two? So that's going to be the topic,
Yeah.
and I don't know how how you how to address that. Well, all you could do is address it without giving any answers.
Hmm.
I don't know what the answers are, but you again, you wrote about that too somewhere, but I don't know what I did with it. Uh,
Yeah. I I don't know. I don't have any answers. I don't have any. There's no easy answer.
yeah, I don't know if the purpose is to give any answers of this meetup,
Yeah.
but just asking the question, I suppose, is all you can do.
I think it's more personal than anything. Only the only actual action. Well, I mean, the primary active response is is personally. Um, if you, it's like the Buddha's what the Buddha said about um, when he awoke. He first thing he said was, "The whole world is awoken." He didn't say, I've awoken. He said, "The whole world is awoken."
Yeah, something like it is awake.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they say, think globally and act locally. Well, you can't get much more local than that, or global.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I think you do have to be out in the world and do your, do your thing in the world.
Yeah, I suppose we're talking about integration again without mentioning the word. Maybe that's what all this stuff is about.
I think it is. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Yeah.
Transformation is another word. Transformation and integration.
Hmm.
Yeah, I suppose it's an ongoing thing. I'm just going to check my microphone. It's just my second recording system. It's fine. Battery's fine.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Probably this will all be. We won't. This. I don't know if this is all being recorded or not. If we're going
It's all
or if
being
we're
recorded on video. I'm not editing it. I'm not going to edit.
okay. If we're going to find that it all has to be done again because that's
Why? I'm not
I
going to do
thought
it again. This is it.
I was thinking about just a Skype call. That's trivial. There's nothing to it. But I didn't really think about the necessity of recording it. So
Yeah, I
I
do
hope it's working.
interviews. That's what I do. And I wanted to interview you. You're a main guy. People don't know about this. You're low key. You would prefer to stay low key, but
Well, yeah,
you know,
I'm a local guy.
you're a local
Um,
guy, and there's there's a lot of people in the world who, I mean, it's not like everybody's coming to a
you're the first
non-duality
one. You're
meeting.
the first first online person that I ever met in person.
Yeah.
That was an amazing thing. Was going from you know, you were an online entity.
That's true for me too. You were the first person I ever met, actually. Yeah, I can't think of who else I would have met. And I can remember meeting you because we met at the public gardens.
Yeah, that's right.
I thought it was a novelty. Here I'm meeting. So yeah, you were the first person I met. I can't think of.
Right. Yeah. Somebody else in Halifax was interested in this shit.
And I thought, my God, I'm meeting someone from the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, somebody from the internet.
We were the first people we met.
It's like we were aliens.
Yeah. Yeah. Those were good days around that 98, 99. You know, I want to go back to those days. I'm tired of these days.
Is that right? Well,
no, not really, but
yeah, there's a perspective that says everything's happening. You know, everything is happening at the same time.
Yeah,
there's
but
no, there's no linear time. Those days are happening now.
Yeah,
and now is happening in those days.
Yeah, and the nostalgia for it is happening too. So
past lives are not past; they're present lives.
They exist now.
We have them. That's how we can have them. We don't have an ongoing jiva or an ongoing soul that persists from life to life down through time. We're living many lives at the same time, or there is no time. There is no time. Nothing actually happens. We are living many lives at once.
Not even accurate to say it's happening all at once. Well,
no. But it's no. There's no accurate way to really say it. But it's a more accurate perspective, perhaps.
Yeah, more accurate, maybe.
You know, nothing ever happened is another perspective, but I think everything is happening.
All at once.
Everything is happening.
And yet, with that is the feeling that, because looking back to those days, it's not something I think about, but where I'm talking about it with you, there was a real newness, freshness, energy that was nice. It was interesting.
Yeah.
And again, it even got magnified at the Providence retreat that we were at.
Yeah.
Magnified more there.
Yeah, that was a beautiful place.
That was something that can't be. We would like to duplicate it. You cannot duplicate. That it was just 12 or so people got together, and there was no agenda at all other than to get together.
Yeah.
Really.
There's nothing sort of woo-woo new agey about it, really.
No.
About that group, I think people have a false impression about it that haven't had any experience of it. Nothing particularly woo-woo or new agey about it.
No, not as far as what was talked about or what was done.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole purpose was just to come together. That's all, in a nice atmosphere. So it was the Zen monastery.
Yeah.
In Rhode Island. Yeah. Beautiful. That was the entire purpose, just to get together.
People are much kinder and gentler in person than they are online, too. In general.
They are. And what I do now, if someone's coming at me, wants to be confrontational online.
Non-duality people. I mean, if people were the same in person as they were online in the old days of Nonduality Salon, then I think there'd be blood if people acted like that in person. But but obviously people can't and don't. And I don't, like I said, groups are not all like that. There are some that are much kinder and gentler. Anyway, this sort of personal arguments over fine points of philosophy or egotistical challenges about egolessness all seem kind of nonsense.
Well, I always thought, I mean, it's only recently that when someone's confrontational with me, and they still are, I say, look, you know, if you want to talk about this, you got to go on Skype video and talk to me face to face. And no one's taking me up on that yet.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they want to hold on to their angst. They want to hold on to their argument.
Yeah.
Hold on to the dissension. Well, you know, I'm not going to play that game. You got to, you know, tell me face to face I'm a jerk or then that's fine. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
I mean,
But they don't do that.
They won't do that. But they won't do it to you. And if they want, I wish they would. Because then I can say, okay, you're probably right. You know, and then I can say, okay. But
well, arguing is a waste of time, I think, now.
It's not a waste of time. It is not a waste of time. No, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm quoting, I know, Dale Carnegie said, you can't win an argument. Because, you know, if you manage to win it by superior logic or whatever, it makes you feel good, but it makes your opponent feel bad, and the facts are not going to change. They're not going to change their mind because of the facts that you project. It's just, you know, you can't, you know, winning an argument means convincing the person you're arguing with that you know, of what's right and what's wrong, and they have their own impressions, and they're not going to change their minds because of what you say. All right? And I think so too. I don't think you can really win an argument.
No.
I know I can.
I don't know. And what do you want to win an argument? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like playing games, because I hate to lose, and I feel bad if I win. You know, I'm like a total wimp. You know. I don't know. I kind of heard that in what you were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just reading into it.
You know, it's a, you know, if you're entering, if it's a game that you're entering into as a game, and in the spirit of playing a game in a playful way,
yeah,
then you don't have to feel bad about winning. I think if you're overly competitive, then, you know, and you got too much of that competitive drive to win, then when you win, it doesn't feel as good as you had thought it would, as you had anticipated it would feel. Then you do feel bad about winning.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
Something I want to ask you about. So we're just changing the topic. When we drove to Rhode Island, when we were driving, we stopped. I always thought about this. I never asked you about it. We stopped at a place. You wanted to show me. And I don't know if you want to talk about it or not. I'm not editing this, so I'm not going to edit this out. So you can just say you don't want to talk about it. But we stopped at a place. I think it's not a personal thing. It's just that we stopped at a place that was of significance for the Native community, the Aboriginal community. I don't know.
Outside of Truro.
Yeah. You want to talk about that, or is it something you want to keep, maybe should be kept secret for the Aboriginal people? I don't know.
Well, is it sort of a bit of a cultural appropriation to talk about it? I don't know.
And we don't have to. But I just want to say that I always remembered that, and we did a ceremony there, and it was we were as respectful as you could be.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful time. It was what a great way to start that trip.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think it was an appropriate way to start that trip.
Totally appropriate.
I think it's part of the reason the trip turned out so well.
Well, thanks. I appreciate hearing that. Yeah. Are you involved with any of the local Aboriginal movements or community at all? Are you,
not really, no.
Maybe that would be more if you're in Halifax. There's probably nothing down there. Maybe I don't know where you are.
Well, there is, yeah.
Yeah,
There's
I don't know what's there, but
no, not really involved. But that place is a little hill on the edge of the tidal river, tidal water at the head of the Bay of Fundy, and so it's kind of at a focal place. It's kind of at a center. If you see the geography of the Maritimes or of Nova Scotia as kind of like a human figure. It's kind of at the crotch of this human figure. It's kind of at the kind of focal place for energies and things. It's just a high spot where you can see a long way in all directions as well. But it's a little weird the way it stands out amongst in a flat lane. This one little knob sticking out.
huh. So it can be considered like a creative center or something.
Yes, yes.
And you're very close to the land. I just, in some of the times we spent together, I just know you're very close to land, almost in a native sense,
In a spiritual sense.
sensibility for it.
Yeah.
That's part of your quietness too, probably.
I enjoy that. Yeah, I guess so. Although I don't have anything profound to say about it, I don't think.
No, I don't. I think that's the whole thing.
Connection with the land is profound. Yeah.
I don't think you want to say anything about it. Or,
No.
Yeah.
I guess talking about the Shambhala Buddhists, the Trungpa, he had reasons for coming to Nova Scotia, apart from the human social reasons, of leaving Boulder, Colorado, and getting to a more down-to-earth place. But I think he also had some sort of things related to the land and the geography, and especially Cape Breton, where Campo Abbey is. It is a special place in the world, just as places in Tibet are special places in the world, like Mount Kailash is a special place. For the Hindus, an abode of Shiva, and for Tibetans, it's a place where some of the non-theistic deities of Tibetan Buddhism live. And I think Cape Breton is kind of another place.
Yeah.
Kind of another place like that. Yeah. And people talk about it in different ways. They talk about energy lines and things. And the Macnab talk about it being a special place where Manitou or Glooskap lived or lives. I think it's a special place for many people. I think the what's his name? The is it the guy that started transcendental meditation?
Yeah, Maharishi Mahesh Yoga.
Yeah, I think it was him. He also set up a place in Cape Breton, on an island in Cape Breton,
Yeah.
because he considered it a special place.
Yeah, I've only been up there a couple of times, and great, great beauty.
Hmm.
I want to see more of it.
Mm-hmm. Have you driven around the Cabot Trail?
No, not yet. My girlfriend lives there, so I'll be spending some more time.
Yeah.
Got to see, go up there more. She comes down here, comes up here.
Yeah.
And is north of Halifax, but when they come to Halifax, they come up here, even though
Up to Halifax.
south seems to be down. So I don't quite get that local cultural thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Cape Breton is down north.
Down home, I guess, comes from down home.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Well, let's see. Has this interview started yet?
I don't know. Has it?
I don't know. I hope so.
Yeah. I expect it probably has.
Yeah, I came to Nova Scotia in '87, but I came previous years to visit with my wife. I thought
Yes.
I loved it here.
Yes.
I thought, I could live here.
Coming from
It's great. Los Angeles.
Jersey,
Yeah.
Los Angeles.
I grew up in New Jersey, and then my family moved to Los Angeles. So I was living in LA when my
Yeah.
wife is from Nova Scotia. She was visiting LA, and
Yeah.
did
So,
you meet Dolores? Did you know her?
no, I never met her.
Never met her. Okay.
No.
Dustin did, I think. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So it's great here. Getting better and better. And you come to our non-duality satsang meetings, and yeah, we don't. Again, it's one of these things.
I generally get there when I get there when I can.
Yeah, it's a long drive for you, and it's winter, so you're lucky you can get up there, but you do.
Yeah.
So
it's a great thing. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Really, thank you. It's great that you come. It's
a relief from cabin fever, I guess.
But also you add a lot. I mean, the first time you came, you brought a great. We had a long silence when you were there, and you brought something.
I was spending a lot of time generally in silence at that time.
You brought that because not only that day, but the next day I was talking to one of the people, I think Chenny, and she said she still felt it like a day or a couple of days later. You brought that.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. I don't, I think silence can make people uncomfortable sometimes. I don't intend to make people uncomfortable, and it has more to do with them than with me. But I know silence doesn't work very well on a Skype interview. But we do have pictures as well as.
It could. I mean, no law says you have to. If you're on the radio, you have to talk. Probably because there's laws you have to talk.
Well, I guess you don't really have.
On the radio,
I mean, silence is on the radio, but it messes up the continuity and messes up the listeners. Is there a law that you have to talk?
What?
Is it? You were saying there are laws you have to talk?
Oh, on the radio, I mean, you can't have silence. You're not supposed to. Sometimes technically you have silence, but
yes.
I don't know how strict the rules are, but you're supposed to have sound.
It's a basic rule of radio, I guess.
If people are gonna have a silence and not talk, you got to have music.
Yeah.
But on these things, there's no rules, so.
There's a pair of foxes that live down here, down by my house.
There's what? I'm sorry.
There's a pair of foxes that live down here by my house. Yeah.
They're interesting animals. You have interesting
They
experiences.
are. They are. They're fascinating animals. The male is a silver fox. He's kind of mostly black this time of year. He's already changed from silver to black. And the female is red. And I think they're going to have babies here.
Wow.
Although, because of the dog being present, she may decide that it's not a safe place to have her babies and decide to move on. I don't know.
Can you kind of make a place where?
Well, she's got this cave underneath some old concrete that got moved over on the edge of the bank down to the water, and it's south facing and nice and warm and sheltered, and it's a good little cave den where she can be safe. And I don't know. I think it's too early for her to have had her babies yet. But I've seen them before, other years. The baby foxes come out and play on sunny days out in front of the den there, and they're really fun. They're not scared of me. They're not scared of humans. They don't have the experience to become scared of humans. They're really playful. Yeah, they get scared of humans when they grow up a little bit. So, I know Bandit will really want to play with them. He won't want to be really aggressive with them, but if they run away, he'll chase them. But yeah, I mean, it's the same with cats. If they run away, he'll chase them, but he won't actually bite them.
Great thing about living in the country is nature. You're in nature, and you get to see stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't have any chickens around, so I'm perfectly happy with the foxes. If I had chickens, I would probably feel different. I think they've killed off most of the squirrels that live around here.
The foxes?
Which is not a bad thing, really. Yeah.
Well, they got food. Foxes have food.
It's not like there's a shortage of squirrels, or that squirrels are it's not like squirrels are an endangered species or anything like that. There's always an abundance of squirrels, and if they've eaten some of them, new ones will move in.
Yeah. It's not that they're killing them for sport. They're eating them.
There's
food.
There's one squirrel that lives in my house down in the basement.
Yeah.
In the basement ceiling somewhere, and I wish he wasn't there because he could chew on wires and burn the house down. But he's survived so far. And I haven't been able to. I haven't really been able to drive him out, or I need to block off. I need to block off his or her entranceway to keep her out. Or if it's a her, if it's a him, that's cool. But if it's a her, and she's got a brood of baby squirrels, I don't want to block off the entranceway. But I do want her gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a good crop of spruce cones here that they eat. Spruce cones and rose hips.
Yeah. What other wildlife do you notice?
The foxes, the squirrels, deer. There's the female fox. Oh, both of them are out there.
Oh, let's see them.
Female fox is there, and the male is following after her.
Can we see them? Or is it too?
Yeah, I don't know if they're too far away.
Resolution won't be good, but maybe we can get some
The
shot.
picture won't be so good. There they are off in the distance. I don't know if you can see them or not.
Just keep it still for a second. Let's. I can't
And
tell.
them.
But you can
No, they're not moving. Well, she's moving now, and he's sitting.
Are we looking at the harbor there, just frozen?
Yes, you're looking at the field with snow on it.
And in that view, where are the foxes? Lower right or?
They're behind that pile of old lumber, that trash pile of lumber. And she's gone down over the bank now, and he's on his way. He's gone too now. Anyway,
Interesting.
they're not there anymore.
Do you know anything about their habit? Do they mate for life?
I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be around much after mating season is over. I think mating season is on right now. I don't know if he's going to be around too much, or if they mate for life, or what. I don't think they mate for life. I don't know.
Maybe you'll find out. Who knows? See what happens.
Well, we got what have we got around here? We got foxes, we got deer, we got squirrels, we got there's porcupines, and
Any otters? You ever see an otter?
otters. Yes, there are otters around. I haven't seen one. I haven't seen one this year. I've seen their tracks in other years in the snow. I've never actually seen an otter right around the house. Down along the shore, I've seen otters.
You know otter tracks? You know otter tracks?
I know otter tracks. Well, they're quite unique. They slide along on the snow. They sort of run along a few steps and then they flop down and slide. Yeah.
How about birds?
And they drag their tails along behind them on the ground on snow. So, yeah.
The only otter I know is Mark Otter, and it sounds like Mark, actually.
Yeah.
He flops down, drags his
flops down and slides on the snow. Yeah.
What about bird life?
Bird life, yeah. Lots of ducks and geese and things, and eagles. And various hawks come through, and then of course the little birds, the robins and things. Saw a robin yesterday.
Really? Are they staying all year long sometimes, or?
Do they stay around? You mean?
Yeah,
all winter.
Year.
I think that they do sometimes nowadays. Yeah. I think they do. I don't know if there's that many of them that do. Kind of, there are all kinds of little birds around. Chickadees. I heard the chickadees this morning, and they're singing their spring song now, which is cool. It's getting to be spring-like, but I saw a male duck, drake, chasing a duck up in Bridgewater, and on the open water up in Bridgewater, up the river. And she wasn't quite ready for him. He was horny. And he was chasing her around, but she wouldn't let him catch her.
Yeah, we got to have.
It's one of the earliest signs of spring.
Middle of February. What's going on?
So yeah, spring is coming. The crows are nesting, I think. Crows and ravens are nesting.
Crows are amazing birds from what I read about them and see.
Yeah, they are incredible. I had one experience that I think I wrote about on Nonduality Salon. I don't remember if I did, where I was lying in bed, half asleep and half awake, half dreaming and half in our waking dream, and there was a crow outside the window, and the crow talked for seemed like hours, but it was for about half an hour or so in common time, and it was telling me all kinds of stuff. It was just sort of anyway, as crows do sometimes. But I understood everything that it said, but I couldn't. That's something I can't translate. There's no translation into human language of what the crow said.
Were you talking back to him, or?
No. It was just the crow was just downloading. Or uploading into me.
Yeah, do you think he was targeting you? He was or
I think he was talking to me. I think he was, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I had that impression.
The resolution on the picture just got really clear. I don't know what it's going to look like in the recording. It was a little blurry, but suddenly it became.
Yeah, it changed.
Now it went blurry again, a little bit.
It just changed on this end. Well, not your picture. Your picture is much the same as it always was, but on my end, it went from big to smaller.
Yeah, but it's also. Yeah, but it's more for me. It's more the resolution change. It's a little fuzzy, but I don't know. It makes you look more mysterious. The fuzzy part.
Oh, good. I like looking mysterious.
So
maybe it was. Maybe I wasn't moving from the sun into the shade or anything.
I don't know. No, it was more of a resolution thing. I just want to check.
How long has this conversation gone for?
I just want to know. Yeah, a minute and 42 seconds. An hour and 42 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Seems like a minute and 42 seconds.
I don't know if anybody's going to be able to actually watch the whole thing.
I run these really long interviews. I don't know.
Yeah.
People watching all of it, but they're on the record anyway.
I don't know if there's much of interest happening on it. But you'll probably, I can't think of anything else to say, but you can probably think of more things to ask me. I don't know.
What I'll do is I'll break it down into tracks. So from minute 5 to minute 7 we talked about, something. So people actually can just click on a track and listen to 2 minutes or 5 minutes of something that interests them.
Yeah, or you can just sort of make a note and without actually breaking it up. You can just make a note that from X time to X, that we talked about something in particular, whatever in particular at 5 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We talked about something else at 7.5 minutes.
Yeah, no, I do time tracks for the whole thing. So people, when the way YouTube is set up, you just click on the time. 2 minutes and 31 seconds, go right to that track. You're talking about, whatever carpentry, and then they can listen to it. I don't know how people use these things, but
right. Yeah. No, I don't either.
These are the kind of things that I don't know. We just do them. It's done. It's you never know what happens with stuff. Who knows?
I listen to video interviews sometimes online. That one that what's his name? Down in the States does. He interviews all kinds of semi-famous people.
Rick Archer, probably.
Rick Archer, yeah.
Yeah, he does a lot of them. It's good.
keep expecting to see your name up there as one of the people, one of the future interviews, but I haven't seen it yet.
No, I don't
I
know
don't.
if
I
I don't know if I'm a good interviewer or not, but
I don't think you're really famous enough for him.
I don't know, but he's got his own thing going.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, he takes it. He seems to take it quite seriously. He does a lot of background studying
yeah,
of each person that he interviews before each interview, and
yeah,
he seems to be fairly sympathetic with people. He interviews a wide range of people, and without being critical or anything. He's quite welcoming.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. I don't like to do too much research. I'd rather just sit there, see what
Yeah.
comes. There's a woman in town now who's has a book out, and she did a TEDx talk. She's she's speaking to the Buddhist community about addictions,
Mhm.
and she asked to interview me. I said, look, I'd rather interview you. I don't have much. Don't feel I have too much to say. And so we're going to meet, I think, this Sunday. I don't know what's going to be. I don't know what kind of conversation would be. I'd rather sort of sit with her. She's kind of an academic, and I want to get her name right. And she's in theater. She does one-woman shows. Very, very interesting person. But I need to get her name here. Need to turn on my.
Yeah, I don't know. I hadn't heard about her.
Well, I just while I'm mentioning her, I just want to get her name, but I need to go on, open my browser, and get it. There's a lot of stuff. There's always a lot of stuff going on in the community between the Buddhist community and the arts community. There's always interesting people in town, you know.
Yeah, that's true. I go to the Shambhala meditation group in Mahone Bay. There's a little group in the Mahone Bay Center that meets on a regular basis, and I'm surprised that I haven't encountered this woman.
She's visiting. She's from the UK, I guess, and so her name. I'm just looking at the email.
So the first I'd heard of her
from
being
her.
here.
Her name is Vimala Sara. That's the first. That's the name that she's taken. Her real name is Valerie. I don't see her last name here. Got to click on this. She wrote a book called 8-Step Recovery, using the Buddhist teaching to overcome addiction. And I have it. I bought it on Kindle. I haven't started reading it yet. But
that's a good thing. That probably relates to the 12-step program, the Alcoholics Anonymous program, which is also about addiction. It's not necessarily about overcoming it. It's about recovering from addiction.
Yeah, and I think she went beyond that. A lot of people go beyond the 12-step programs and more into like a meditation or a non-dual consciousness presence. Her name is Valerie. Her name is Valerie Mason John. Her Buddhist name is Vimala Sara. So I'm going to we'll be talking to her. How did I get into that? I don't know, but interviews. But yeah, as far as there'd be a lot, I'll read her book, and I've watched her TEDx talk.
Oh well, if you read her book, then that's lots of studying.
Yeah, it is, but then
studying for an interview, I think that's all you need to do.
But on the other hand, when you talk to someone, I'd rather hear, about the wildlife where she lives. Now, you sort of want to talk to people about
Yeah, about things that aren't necessarily
It's like get away from work, you know.
the thing that they're trying to project.
Yeah, that's the work stuff. That's the work she does. That's fine.
Mm.
The books we write, that's the work, and
That's not all of life.
that's
Not
important.
all
But
of it
yeah,
is.
you know, what's behind that? What's behind writing a book? What's behind
Yeah.
everything? And let's just talk from that place. So you don't have to do any research for that because everyone has that.
Yeah.
I kind of like to come from there and not much from people's reputation or their book or
Hmm.
like you don't have a book, you don't have a website,
No, I don't have a.
you don't
I
have
don't have
followers.
a,
Do you have any followers?
not that I know of. No.
Need some followers, some books, some.
I do have a Twitter account that I never really tweet on it. Um,
What's your online activity like these days besides something like this?
Not much.
Emails.
I mean, I don't actually write really anything, or I don't really participate in any email groups now. I do watch videos and things, and I read.
Are you working there? Are you doing any back at the carpentry at all? Are you doing any kind of work or?
I'm not working right now because I think
Still.
mostly because of the weather. Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
but I'm pretty much recovered and
Wow.
eager to get back at it.
So you probably will start more in the spring, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I need to do it. I need to do it for the money, apart from needing
Yeah.
to do it for just for myself,
yeah,
for something to do.
you need to work.
Yeah.
So we talked about carpentry. We talked about, I'm going through my list here. We talked something about gardening. We talked about
I need to do it for the social aspect of it. For the people, you know, doing that kind of renovation carpentry is an unusual profession because you really get involved in people's lives, because especially if you're renovating a house while people are living in it. So you're in somebody's house for 3 months at a time if the renovation takes 3 months. You know, you're meeting people where they are. You're not really meeting them. They're not really, you know, maybe they're trying to present their best face, but you see them. You're messing their lives up. You're turning everything upside down and making a mess, and you're there for months. You know, sometimes these things stretch out longer than anybody anticipated and cost more than. Usually a renovation job ends up costing more than anticipated and taking longer than anticipated, and you get to know people quite well. You really get involved with them. So the social aspect of it is something that really attracts me. Both with the client, the social aspect with clients, and the social aspect with people that I work with. Being kind of the carpenter, general contractor in the situation, I'm there more than anybody else involved in the job. Other trades people come and go. You have electrician comes in and does his thing for a day or two, and or you know, maybe a week, and the plumber comes and does his thing, and you're there as these people come and go. Same with painters. Painters sort of are the last people in. Sometimes I do my own painting. I do the painting sometimes, but sometimes there's painters come in. I don't do roofs anymore. There's roofers come in. Yeah. So you do have you develop a sort of social network of these people that you know.
And does that continue after the job then? I mean, is it does it become an ongoing part of your social network? I mean, do you stay?
Well, yeah, it goes on from job to job. You develop a relationship with the particular electrician or whatever that you prefer, and if they're available on the next job, you call them again.
How about the people who live in the homes?
Oh, the people. Well, I come back. People get me back
for other stuff,
another thing after often, and they recommend me to their friends and recommend me to their enemies.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an ongoing thing, and all these old wooden houses need constant maintenance. So people get me back to fix the back steps when they start to rot off the house, or or whatever. Roof has started to leak. They need someone to come and have a look at it.
So you're a carpenter and a contractor because you're bringing in these other people.
Yeah. Although I don't pay them. The homeowners pay them directly. So I guess I am a contractor in that way.
I hope you're getting a cut. None of my business, though.
No, I don't. I don't get a cut. I just work for. I just charge by my time and materials. And I get paid on an ongoing basis rather than generally anyway. Yeah. I started out doing repairs for insurance companies, insurance-related repairs, things that like somebody had an insurance claims, flood damages and fire damage and that kind of stuff. And for those things, you do the initial stuff on time and material. You do the first sort of clean out and things and you charge by the hour for what you've done. Then you write an estimate for the repairs that are needed, which goes to the insurance company, and they either accept your estimate and you do the job for whatever price you've quoted, or they accept somebody else's estimate. But that business is more or less has changed so much. It now belongs to bigger businesses, franchises of large businesses and so on. It's not a business I really enjoyed doing either. There's too much hassle associated with it, and
sounds like a lot of dirty work too.
Yeah, too much dirty work and too much sort of frantic running around emergencies, and I like to work at a more constant and slower, more relaxed pace.
Hmm.
Did I hear kids out there?
Can you hear that? I live across the street from a school. I can barely hear.
Yeah.
It's amazing you can hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what time is it? Well, yeah.
I heard some
There's
boy yelling in the background.
wow, it's amazing you can hear that. And there's a public school there. Then across the lot, there's the Shambhala school, which goes from preschool up to 12th grade.
Right.
I
couldn't tell if it was a Shambhala kid or another kid.
I can't tell. Do the Shambhala kids?
I couldn't really tell
during recess. I don't know.
I said boy, but it could have been a girl. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just happened to be quiet right at that moment that that kid was yelling.
Yeah. Yeah. My windows are closed, but yeah, I mean, when they're not out for recess. That's just one kid. When they're out for recess, I mean, it's loud.
Hmm.
and it's great. I love the sounds because it sounds just like when kids had a recess 100 years ago. They're just yelling and
Yeah.
screaming. Sounded just like when I was a kid. Kids having recess back in the 50s. It's just
Right.
kids
Right.
yelling.
Right.
That's all, and screaming
Yeah.
and
I, I found a book at the George Wright House when we were there before. Um, the book's called "What to Do at Recess," and
really.
it's yeah, it's about recess back 100 years ago. You were talking about recess 100 years ago, and it's all kinds of activities. It's mostly written for the teachers, and it's activities to do with the kids at recess. Um, it's quite imaginative. They were doing a lot more than teachers do nowadays. I don't think teachers really do much except break up fights and stuff.
Yeah, no, the kids here are well behaved and
Yeah,
go out there. There's
I,
basketball courts and there's a
right.
jungle gym and
But I think the kids are allowed to play as they will, um,
yeah,
which is fine. I don't think that the teachers have to impose activities on what the kids do anyway. But that was what was in that book.
100. Yeah, they had activities for the kids. Maybe
Hmm.
they just had like an empty field and they needed to think of ideas. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah. I guess that's what it was. What to do at recess, it was called. And one of the things it said was, "Do have recess. The kids really need it."
Yeah, you can hear the kids' joy. I mean, or just
They
think
talked
about
about
it.
hyperactive boys, and they talked about anorexic girls, or that's what they mentioned. They mentioned the pale anorexic girl needs recess just as much as the boy with too much energy.
Yeah.
They didn't use the word hyperactive like we do nowadays. And the
Hmm.
boy boy wasn't dosed with Ritalin or anything in those days.
Yeah. It's I mean, it's just so important to go outside every day for anyone,
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, it is.
just to get sun and air.
Mhm. I think recess is something that adults need to have too. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, all the office workers and people should take recess
Sure. Just go out into
for 15 or 20 minutes.
just go out and play
And
ball and I don't know
yeah,
if they would be able to because they'd be
yeah,
talking business or you can't stop. You can't stop taking phone calls.
mm, yeah. I know.
Uh,
Should have recess, but the people won't do it.
workplaces have gyms, I guess people go to.
Yeah, yeah, but that's too industrious. I think just getting
That's not
outside in the
play. Yeah.
sunshine, outside in the sunshine and the fresh air.
Go outside, have
Those,
some basketball courts. But I think it's really hard to separate. I mean, because the kids, the natural tendency is to play, and for adults, it's not in
yeah,
the corporate
but
world.
adults tend to lose that playfulness, which I think people should cultivate playfulness. Hmm.
Yeah, that's something I know. Anamani, have you ever come across Anamani, one of the non-duality teachers? And I think,
Uh,
mm,
Anamani?
yeah, Anamani, Unmani.
An,
Yeah,
Anani. No.
she's a good one,
No,
and
I never have encountered her.
she's pretty popular. And that's what she does at her retreats, I guess, is create an atmosphere where people just play like kids, just paint,
Hmm.
do finger painting, and
Hmm.
because it is so important to kind of restore that
Yeah. Yeah.
playfulness.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's a good
Humans
teacher.
forget to play. I think it's not just humans that forget to play sometimes. Um, I think other animals play more as juveniles than they do as adults. Um, I was talking about foxes, but things like kittens and things. Kittens play, and grown cats don't play so much, and puppies play. Grown dogs get more serious, don't play so much, although Bandit still plays.
Yeah. Or maybe play changes. Maybe play is different.
Yeah, I guess so.
As you get older, and maybe it's not natural to sort of provoke or force people to play like kids.
There are animals that do not lose that playfulness. I know otters don't. Otters continue playing.
Yeah.
So do crows, and so do dolphins and things, I think.
Yeah. And some adults,
some humans,
humans known as, some of them are called tricksters.
Yes.
They mess with your fixed view of reality. They'll play around with it. They'll screw around with you.
Yeah.
I think Gene Poole was good at that. I think he enjoyed doing that.
I think that's more purposeful than really. That's not as pure a play. It's not such a pure play, I don't think.
Yeah, I think it's more a little manipulative, or.
Well, it has purpose.
Yeah.
It has a purpose outside of itself.
Are you getting all talked out? Are you getting talked out?
Yeah, I guess so. People seem to think they need all kinds of fancy stuff to play. They need, in order to play, people need a big yacht to go sailing. As play, and then they need to get really competitive with their sailing or with their activity, or they need an expensive motorbike to go and play on the road. They need you need hockey. You need all your equipment. You need a rink, and you need all these rules and this intense competitiveness, and it's not really pure play. It can be. It's better as pure play, I think. But
pure play. What is pure play?
Qualitative judgment.
What is pure play? What perspective or whatever allows you to come from pure play?
You do it for the joy of it. An activity that you do just for joy.
Yeah, and is it seeing life as already play anyway?
I guess so. Yeah.
In an ideal world, if you can go to the doctor and they give you some so-called horrible news, if you just see it as play, as a game, part of you is worried, part of you is laughing because it's silly.
Yeah.
That seems like looking at life as a.
Yeah. It's you don't necessarily get what you expect.
You don't get what you expect, so I don't know what's the best way to approach. Yeah, you never do. So, what's the best way to deal with that? Just maybe with a sense of humor.
Yeah. That life is play. There's a play going on. There's playfulness going on whether you are aware of it or not.
That's interesting. Yeah.
And sometimes it can really be something that really knocks you hard.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess there's a sense that you need to be knocked out of your routine.
Yeah, in order to kind of give yourself a test.
Yeah,
If you really are established, or see if you really are what you think you are,
yeah.
or if you need to be reminded.
Hmm. Yeah.
We need to get together sometime with some cigars and some real cigars instead of this stuff we're smoking here.
Hard to get good cigars these days, I think. I don't know. Um,
They're expensive. I
now,
wouldn't buy them here. They're so expensive.
now that the law in this silly country
What kind of
has
law
said
is there?
you can't even look at them. You're not. There's no display. It's illegal to display the cigars. They have to be in a closed box that you can't see through. Um,
I didn't
so
know.
even the packages have to be the whole stash of cigars that the retailer has have to be hidden away. Now that's fine for cigarettes, but when it comes to cigars and things, cigars you can't pick a cigar unless if you're not allowed to see them
There's a
unless you
place in
know.
Barrington. They have a humidor. I'm sure you can't you still go in that humidor? I think I was in there. Been a couple of
I
years
don't
ago.
know. I don't know. I don't know if you still can or not. I haven't been in there.
I don't buy cigar. I buy if I buy cigars here, they're the cheap, the backwoods. You ever smoke the backwoods? They're not bad.
No.
They're not bad.
Yeah, I think I've had one before. I don't remember them
They're
very
not
well.
bad. Some of them are flavored.
Hmm.
They're not serious cigars, but they're not bad. And I tend to smoke cigars when I go on a vacation. That's when I tend to. When I go away, like to California or something, then I'll smoke some cigars. But
Yeah,
not
you
cheap.
can buy them cheaper there probably.
Not
Should go
bad.
to Cuba. Go to Cuba
Yeah.
and smoke cigars.
Well, there's a girl in our group, our Nonduality Satsang group, who's from Cuba.
Yeah.
Girl Judy.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
she's only been up here in the state in Canada for a couple of years.
Hmm.
So yeah, we
Have
got
I
to go
met her?
down there.
Have I met her?
No, not yet. No,
Hmm.
but she came. She came to. She was at the Lion's Head meeting, and then she was at the house, the George Wright House, a couple of weeks.
Hmm.
Was it last time? I don't remember if you were here or not.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, the weather has to get warmer sometime soon, so
I don't know.
um, we should be able to meet at the house.
Yeah, like I said, we're scheduled for this Sunday. See if you can.
Yeah, I'll try and
Um,
get there. I expect I'll be able to.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's good. I don't know what the weather's like, but
Yeah.
anyway, I don't know who's going to watch this whole thing. We must have been talking for 2 hours,
Hmm.
over 2 hours. That's a long time.
I haven't been timing it, but yeah, you're right.
Uh, no, I'm glad we talked about. Oh, did we cover?
Probably ran out of recording capacity. I don't know.
Still
We
going.
did
The
record.
battery's still going. It looks like
Yeah.
2 recording systems. Anyway,
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
you remain a
Two
mystery
record.
man, which is great. I mean, that says a lot. After 2 hours, you're still the enigma.
Still saying stuff. That says a lot about your ability to conduct interviews.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't know.
you can think of things of new subjects to bring up. It's an endless supply. Um, I don't think of them. Well, sometimes I do, but yeah.
I didn't, when we first said we were going to meet, I didn't know exactly what to talk about, but I went to your webpage and I realized you've written on a lot of different topics.
Yeah, I guess I did. Yes.
You probably don't realize yourself.
Well, yeah, I forgot most of what I wrote. So you remember them better than me, or you have an advantage over me, and you've looked at them and I haven't.
So I think we've caught up over your last few years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna go
Yep.
do some
Okay.
stuff today.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you so much.
Thanks again for doing this.
Andrew Macnab from
Yeah.
West Dublin, Nova Scotia.
You make a real contribution to everything.
I think I'm going to put this online on YouTube here. Take a while for it to upload, but a couple hours.
Oh yeah.
Hours. Take a few.
So you get things done.
I don't know. What do you mean? I don't build houses like you. I'm just, cutting and pasting and whatever.
Yeah. I think this or that would be a good idea, but then I don't actually do anything about them. You do.
Well, because you work and stuff, and let me know. You're maybe we can take an idea, run with it, or something. Who knows? But I got about 3 or 4 projects going. They keep me busy. I'm pretty happy with them. I do these interviews. I do the radio show. I do the highlights newsletter, and I don't know.
Yeah.
What else? The other online activities, and that's enough. Keeps me busy.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna go.
I do work, but right now I'm not working at the moment, so I have time to do stuff like this.
We should have a meeting down by your place. Bring have one of our meetups down there. Bring a few people.
Yeah. I can't
your territory.
Yeah, I can't think of any space apart from my house that would be available for that.
I don't know.
Yeah. Was that?
We'll see. We'll see what happens. If you have any ideas, let us know.
Maybe the Mahone Bay Center might be a place to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nice country down there.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't think of a heated space right now. We need a heated space right now.
Yeah.
These old community halls and things are out there, but there's no heat.
Yeah. Some of them probably have what do you call those heaters? The big thing and the not
furnaces. Oil furnaces.
Yeah, oil furnaces. They still have people.
Yeah. Floor furnace, like an oil furnace with no ductwork, just in the floor.
It's just there. It's like
yeah. Oh yeah, they probably do.
Different community centers, churches have them, schools.
Yeah.
They need a special kind of oil, don't they?
Well, there's some that use what they call stove oil instead of furnace oil.
Stove oil, yeah.
Which is more of a sort of a kerosene type oil rather than furnace oil, which is a little heavier. But depends. There are places that have oil stoves like that, and then furnaces that are more. A lot of those old halls have an oil furnace that, which is a good. There are good things about oil furnaces. You get quick heat. You just go in there and flash that forced hot air furnace on. Doesn't take very long for it to heat the place up. Gets expensive if you try to maintain heat in the place for a long period of time in a big old uninsulated hall or something. But if you just want to turn on the heat for an hour or two,
Yeah.
It's convenient, and it doesn't really cost too much. It might be $20 or $30 worth of oil.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, I'm going to get going.
Okay. Well, thanks, Dirk.
Time.
What's that?
Great spending some time with you.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, thank you. I'll see you soon.
Okay.
And I'll put this on YouTube. You'll get, maybe it might go viral.
Yeah, I'll see you on Sunday, I expect.
I hope so.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope it goes viral.
If I get 20 views, I call it viral,
Yeah.
It's a small virus. It's not a big virus.
No.
But no, these things get viewed. I know people want to see you anyway, especially from the old.
Not a very infectious virus.
No.
You think people want to see me?
But people already, Gloria already, because I put an announcement on Facebook. I'm going to be interviewing you, and Gloria and Amrita, OH, they both want to see you. So there'll be other people that want to see you. So you're out there. Okay.
Yeah, I'm out there now. Or I will be out there once you've uploaded it to.
Yeah, you'll be famous again. You were famous on Nonduality Salon. You took off. You disappeared. Now you're re-emerging.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Okay. I'll see you soon, hopefully.
Okay.
Andrew.
Yeah. See you Sunday, I hope.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.